his term here. Something incredible. For mayoral candidates, for Senate candidates, for presidential candidates, if you want to run in the Republican Party, if you want to be a part of the GOP and have the establishment of the GOP and be a true conservative, well, then you're going to have to go off the MAGA blueprint or the America First blueprint, which Donald Trump has laid out. And we don't know. Maybe Donald Trump will make a 2024 presidential run. We cannot say for certain at this time. He hasn't said that. But what he certainly is going to be sure is that the person who has control as the nominee in 2024 will have that America First, that MAGA blueprint as part of their campaign. Look, Donald Trump, whether you want to believe it or not, he is the leader of this party by far. I was in a car the other day. I was in a car the other day and I was talking to somebody and they said Mitch McConnell is the leader of their entire terms combined. So Donald Trump is the leader of this party. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. And that is clear just today by all the people who have showed up here. If Mitch McConnell was coming by in an SUV, I don't think this many people would be lined up. You might have one or two, if that. So there's not going to be the support for Mitch that there is for President Trump. What's your thoughts?
And we can't allow that to happen again. So that is the one thing we need to safeguard more than anything else, in my opinion, in this country is our elections. Because without free and fair elections, we will never accomplish the change that that we want to. The majority will never actually rule if we do not safeguard our free and fair elections. So
The President's own United States Marine Band will now present the world premieres of 3 new fanfares written by American composers in honor of the 59th inaugural ceremonies. Fanfare for Democracy by James Stevenson, Fanfare Palatia by Kimberly Archer, and Fanfare for Tomorrow by Peter Boyer. 17th Congress. The President-elect's cabinet members and agency designees. Their Excellencies, the Bilateral Chiefs of Mission, joined by Acting Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Salam Sabah.
Agree that this is an amazing country. We just want the best for it. Now, I think we also agree on many of the problems that we have in America. However, what's different is our solutions to those problems and whether those problems work or whether those solutions work. So we need to be able to talk to people and find common ground with them. So I'm excited for the next few years. It's going to be, there's definitely going to be changes. We're not going to have President Trump to lead us in the nation. We're going to be under a Democrat-controlled, presidency, Congress, Senate. However, not giving up hope. We can't give up hope. We can't afford to, you guys,
Attention toward the inaugural platform. The Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark A. Milley.
whether we like it or not, we have been increasingly divided over the last few years, and especially over the last year. Oh my gosh, this pandemic stuff has been absolutely insane. I never imagined the United States of America would be going through things like this, but we're going to restore America. We're going to restore our economy. Again, I'm hoping that the next administration continues the policies of the MAGA doctrine and that they continue President Trump's economic stance, because we need that to get out of this mess we're in the
Gentlemen, leadership of the United States House of Representatives, Republican Whip the Honorable Stephen Scalise, and Majority Whip the Honorable James E. Clyburn.
he always has, and break the DC norms. And so that's why the president will be driving by with the First Lady here today. And it is important to note that when they do drive by, they will still be President and First Lady Trump. So the nuclear footballs, all the executive.
Ladies and gentlemen, leadership of the United States Senate, President Pro Tempore Emeritus, the Honorable Patrick Leahy and Mrs. Marshall Leahy, Democratic Whip, the Honorable Dick Durbin and Mrs. Rima Doden, Majority Whip, the Honorable John Thune and Mrs. Kimberly Thune, Democratic Leader, the Honorable Charles Schumer and Mrs. Irish Wineshaw Schumer, and President Pro Tempore of the Senate, the Honorable Chuck Grassley and Mrs. Jennifer Hines.
Party now. So we're not going to elect people who are going to do anything less than work hard for the American people. And again, not all the change is going to happen in just a few years. It's going to take us decades to get back to how America should be, which is prosperous, a nation of law and order.
I've also heard rumored that President Trump is thinking about starting his own political party called the Twitter yesterday that someone I think that we need to revamp our foreign policy, which we have
Ladies and gentlemen, former Vice President, the Honorable Dan Quayle.
Politicians get so lost in money and power that they don't want to put America first. And Beach County, President Trump is aboard along with First Lady Melania. The motorcade down. I'm so glad we got this view of Air Force One, but they're going to take the motorcade down into Palm Beach and cross the bridge, and then that's where we will see President Trump. And I'm hoping for a little wave.
did in 2016. He gets to work on
anymore, so he
Ladies and gentlemen, the 42nd President of the United States, the Honorable William J. Clinton, and the Honorable Hillary Rodham Clinton.
He did not.
Broadcasting family and America for your sacrifice to our country. It means a great deal, and we know that you didn't have to do it, but you did it anyways. So it means a ton. And hey, if you're just joining us, we're here in West Palm Beach, Florida. Estate on Palm Beach Island. We're in West.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 43rd President of the United States, the Honorable George W. Bush and Mrs. Laura Bush. Ladies and gentlemen, the 44th President of the United States, the Honorable Barack H. Obama and Mrs. Michelle Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, the children of Vice President-elect Harris and Mr. Douglas Imhoff, Cole Mackin Imhoff, and Ella Rose Imhoff. Ladies and gentlemen, the children of President-elect Biden, Robert Hunter Biden II and Ashley Blazer Biden, also the grandchildren of the President-elect.
I know, totally got cut off.
Ladies and gentlemen, accompanying the Vice President, the Secretary of the Senate, the Honorable Julie E. Adams, and Chief Administrative Officer of the House of Representatives, Catherine Spindor. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the United States, the Honorable Michael R. Pence and Mrs. Karen Pence. and gentlemen, accompanying the Vice President-elect, the Chief of Inaugural Ceremonies, Maria Miller-Lohmeyer, the Acting Deputy House Sergeant-at-Arms, Kevin Grubbs, and the Acting Deputy Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, United States Capitol Police Officer Private First Class Eugene O. Goodman. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President-elect of the United States, Kamala Devi Harris, and Mr. Douglas Emhoff. The Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Staff Representative Alexandria Gordican-DeChico, accompanying the House Republican Leader, the Honorable Kevin McCarthy. Staff Representative Bridget Brennan, accompanying House Majority Leader, the Honorable Steny Hoyer and Mrs. Yvette Lewis. Staff Representative Kate Knudsen, accompanying Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi and Mr. Paul Pelosi. Staff Representative Lindsey Kerr, accompanying the Honorable Amy Klobuchar and Mr. John Bessler. Staff Representative Stephanie Hager-Mucko, accompanying Senate Majority Leader, the Honorable Mitch McConnell and the Honorable Elaine L. Chao. And Staff Representative Rochelle Graves Schroeder, accompanying the Chairman of the Joint Congressional Committee for Inaugural Ceremonies, accompanying the President-elect, the Staff Director of the Joint Congressional Committee and Inaugural Ceremonies, Fitzhugh Elder IV, the Acting House Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, Tim Blodgett, and the Acting Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, Jennifer Hemingway. Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., and Dr. Jill Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please welcome the Honorable Amy Klobuchar.
Vice President Pence, Mr. President-elect, Madam Vice President-elect, members of Congress and the judicial branch, former presidents and first ladies, vice presidents, leaders from abroad, and a whole bunch of Bidens. America, welcome to the 59th presidential inauguration, where in just a few moments, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will take their solemn oaths. This ceremony is the culmination of 244 years of a democracy. It is the moment when leaders brought to this stage by the will of the people promise to be faithful to our Constitution, to cherish it and defend it. It is the moment when they become, as we all should be, guardians of our country. Have we become too jaded, too accustomed to the ritual of the passing of the torch of democracy to truly appreciate what a blessing and a privilege it is to witness this moment? I think not. 2 weeks ago, when an angry, violent mob staged an insurrection and desecrated this temple of our democracy, it awakened us to our responsibilities as Americans. This is the day when our democracy picks itself up, brushes off the dust, and does what America always does: goes forward as a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This conveyance of a sacred trust between our leaders and our people takes place in front of this shining Capitol dome for a reason. When Abraham Lincoln gave his first inaugural address in front of this Capitol, the dome was only partially constructed, braced by ropes of steel. He promised he would finish it. He was criticized for spending funds on it during the Civil War. To those critics, he replied, "If the people see the Capitol going on, it is a sign we intend the Union shall go on." And it did, and it will. Generations of Americans gave their lives to preserve our republic in this place. Great legislation to protect civil rights and economic security and lead the world was debated and crafted under this dome. Now it falls on all of us, not just the two leaders we are inaugurating today, to take up the torch of our democracy, not as a weapon of political arson, but as an instrument for good. We pledge today never to take our democracy for granted as we celebrate its remarkable strength. We celebrate its resilience, its grit. We celebrate the ordinary people doing extraordinary things for our nation, the doctors and nurses on the front line of this pandemic, the officers in the Capitol, a new generation never giving up hope for justice. We celebrate a new president, Joe Biden, who vows to restore the soul of America and cross the river of our divides to a higher plane. And we celebrate our first African American, first Asian American, and first woman vice president, Kamala Harris, who stands on the shoulders of so many on this platform who have forged the way to this day. When she takes the oath of office, little girls and boys across the world will know that anything and everything is possible. And in the end, that is America, our democracy, a country of so much good. And today, on these Capitol steps and before this glorious field of flags, we rededicate ourselves to its cause. Thank you. It is now my honor to introduce to you the senator who has worked with me and so many others to make this ceremony possible, my friend and the chair of the inaugural committee, Missouri Senator Roy Blunt.
Well, I should have known when Senator Klobuchar got involved, at least there'd be a touch of snow up here this morning. Of all the things we'd considered, I don't think snow was on my agenda until I walked out the door a moment ago. But thank you, Senator Klobuchar, and thanks to the other members of the Joint Congressional Committee on the inauguration as we officially begin the 59th inaugural ceremony. I also want to thank the Joint Committee staff and our partners, particularly our security partners, for the way they've dealt with unprecedented circumstances. When I chaired the inauguration 4 years ago, I shared President Reagan's 1981 description of this event as commonplace and miraculous. Commonplace because we've done it every 4 years since 1789. Miraculous because we've done it every 4 years since 1789. Americans have celebrated this moment during war, during depression, and now during pandemic. Once again, all three branches of our government come together as the Constitution envisions. Once again, we renew our commitment to our determined democracy, forging a more perfect union. That theme for this inauguration, our determined democracy, forging a more perfect union, was announced by the Joint Committee before the election with the belief that the United States can only fulfill its promise and set an example for others if we are always working to be better than we have been. The Constitution established that determined democracy with its first three words, declaring the people as the source of the government. The Articles of Confederation hadn't done that. The Magna Carta hadn't done that. Only the Constitution says the government exists because the people are the source of the reason it exists. They immediately followed those first three words with the words to form a more perfect union. The founders did not say to form a perfect union. They did not claim that in our new country nothing would need to be improved. Fortunately, they understood that always working to be better would be the hallmark of a great democracy. The freedoms we have today, the nation we have today, is not here just because it happened, and they aren't complete. A great democracy working through the successes and failures of our history, striving to be better than it had been. And we are more than we have been, and we are less than we hope to be. The assault on our Capitol at this very place just 2 weeks ago reminds us that a government designed to balance and check itself is both fragile and resilient. During the last year, the pandemic challenged our free and open society and called for extraordinary determination and sacrifice, and still challenges us today. Meeting that challenge head on have been and are healthcare workers, scientists, watching and will watch what we do here. Our government comes together. The Congress and the courts join the transition of executive responsibility. One political party more pleased today and on every inaugural day than the other. But this is not a moment of division, it's a moment of unification. A new administration begins and brings with it a new beginning. And with that, our great national debate goes forward, and a determined democracy will continue to be essential in pursuit of a more perfect union and a better future for all Americans. What a privilege for me to join you today. Thank you. I'm pleased to call to the podium a longtime friend of the President-elect and his family, Father Leo O'Donovan, to lead us in an invocation. Please stand if you are able and remain standing for the national anthem and the pledge to our flag.
Gracious and merciful God, at this sacred time we come before you in need, indeed on our knees. But we come still more with hope and with our eyes raised anew to the vision of a more perfect union in our land, a union of all our citizens to promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. We are a people of many races, creeds, and colors, national backgrounds, cultures, and styles, now far more numerous and on land much vaster than when Archbishop John Carroll wrote his prayer for the inauguration of George Washington 232 years ago. Archbishop Carroll prayed that you, O Creator of all, would assist with your Holy Spirit of counsel and fortitude the President of these United States, that his administration may be conducted in righteousness and be eminently useful to your people. Today we confess our past failures to live according to our vision of equality, inclusion, and freedom for all. Yet we resolutely commit still more now to renewing the vision, to caring for one another in word and deed, especially the least fortunate among us, and so becoming a light for the world. There is a power in each and every one of us that lives by turning to every other one of us, a thrust of the Spirit to cherish and care and stand by others, and above all, those most in need. It is called love, and its path is to give ever more of itself. Today, it is called American patriotism, born not of power and privilege, but of care for the common good, with malice toward none and with charity for all. For our new president, we beg of you the wisdom Solomon sought when he knelt before you and prayed for an understanding heart so that I can govern your people and know the difference between right and wrong. We trust in the counsel of the letter of James. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Pope Francis has reminded us how important it is to dream together. By ourselves, he wrote, we risk seeing mirages, things that are not there. Dreams, on the other hand, are built together. Be with us, holy mystery of love, as we dream together. Help us under our new president to reconcile the people of our land, restore our dream and invest it with peace and justice and the joy that is the overflow of love. To the glory of your name, forever, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of our national colors by the Armed Forces Color Guard, the singing of our national anthem, and for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ladies and gentlemen, Here for the singing of our national anthem, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band, please welcome Lady Gaga.
Guys, this looks like the fucking Hunger Games, does it not? This is surreal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the City of South Fulton, Georgia Fire and Rescue Department, President of the International Association of Firefighters, Local 3920, Fire Captain Andrea M. Hall, for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What you are all about to be part of, America, is a historic moment of firsts. To administer the oath to our first African American, our first Asian American, and our first woman vice president, Kamala Harris, it is my great privilege to welcome to the inaugural stage the first Latina to ever serve on the Supreme Court of the United States of America, Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the oath of office, followed by musical honors.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution.
And if I run into a crowd of 200
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
that I will well and faithfully discharge
That I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
Yeah,
the
literally.
duties of the office
Outside of-
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please welcome Jennifer Lopez to perform This Land Is Your Land and America the Beautiful, accompanied by members of the President's own United States Marine Band.
And then a crowd of people with cops around them. Let's see what we can find down here. We have a lot of yellow police tape walling people off. Do you agree with attacking someone because they don't think like you? No, I'm very much against that. Duh. All right, here are your Biden-Harris voters in this crowd. I'm pretty sure I see a few Biden-Harris flags here. Get away from this loud, annoying truck. Yeah, most of the people seem to be walking down this way. We have the riot cops coming down the road right now. Hey, watch on your side. You got riot cops. You got riot cops coming behind you. Anyone give a shit? The riot cops don't seem to be moving aggressively. Riot? What riot? Yeah, there's no riot. I think the riot cops are just getting behind the their barrier and repositioning. They don't appear to be moving with the intent of responding in any way to anything just yet. Can you show the riot with your camera? There is no riot.
The plan is in full effect. Everything is fine.
Well, that was great. The sun is shining, and Mr. President-elect, this is the first inauguration in the history of America where J-Lo was the warm-up act for Chief Justice Roberts. With that, it is now my distinct honor to introduce the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, John Roberts, to administer the presidential oath to the next President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the oath of office, followed by musical honors.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
Office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
My fellow Americans, a moment we have all been waiting for. It is now my great privilege and high honor to be the first person to officially introduce the 46th President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
Chief Justice Roberts, Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, Leader McConnell, Vice President Pence, and my distinguished guests, my fellow Americans. This is America's day. This is democracy's day, a day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy. The people, the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed. So now, on this hallowed ground where just a few days ago, violence sought to shake the Capitol's very foundation, we come together as one nation, under God, indivisible, to carry out the peaceful transfer of power as we have for more than 2 centuries. As we look ahead in our uniquely American way, restless, bold, optimistic, and set our sights on the nation we know we can be and we must be. I thank my predecessors of both parties for their presence here today. I thank them from the bottom of my heart. And I know the resilience of our Constitution and the strength of our nation, as does President Carter, who I spoke with last night, who cannot be with us today, but whom we salute for his lifetime in service. I've just taken the sacred oath each of those patriots have taken, the oath first sworn by George Washington. But the American story depends not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us, on we the people who seek a more perfect union. This is a great nation. We are good people. And over the centuries, through storm and strife, in peace and in war, we've come so far. But we still have far to go. We'll press forward with speed and urgency, for we have much to do in this winter of peril and significant possibilities. Much to repair, much to restore, much to heal, much to build, and much to gain. Few people in our nation's history have been more challenged or found a time more challenging or difficult than the time we're in now. Once-in-a-century virus that silently stalks the country. It's taken as many lives in 1 year as America lost in all of World War II. Millions of jobs have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed. A cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer. A cry for survival comes from the planet itself, a cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism that we must confront and we will defeat. To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause. Uniting to fight the foes we face: anger, resentment and hatred, extremism, lawlessness, violence, disease, joblessness, and hopelessness. With unity, we can do great things, important things. We can right wrongs. We can put people to work in good jobs. We can teach our children in safe schools. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work and rebuild the middle class and make health care secure for all. We can deliver racial justice, and we can make America once again the leading force for good in the world. I know speaking of unity can sound to some like a foolish fantasy these days. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real. But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the American ideal that we're all created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, demonization have long torn us apart. The battle is perennial, and victory is never assured. Through Civil War, the Great Depression, World War, 9/11, through struggle, sacrifice, and setbacks, our better angels have always prevailed. In each of these moments, enough of us have come together to carry all of us forward. And we can do that now. History, faith, and reason show the way of unity. We can see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors. We can treat each other with dignity and respect. We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature. For without unity, there is no peace, only bitterness and fury. No progress, only exhausting outrage. No nation, only a state of chaos. This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge, and unity is the path forward. And we must meet this moment as the United States of America. If we do that, I guarantee you we will not fail. We have never, ever, ever, ever failed in America when we've acted together. And so today, at this time, in this place, let's start afresh, all of us. Let's begin to listen to one another again, hear one another, see one another, show respect to one another. Politics doesn't have to be a raging fire, destroying everything in its path. Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total war. And we must reject the culture in which facts themselves are manipulated and even manufactured. My fellow Americans, we have to be different than this. America has to be better than this. And I believe America is so much better than this. Just look around. Here we stand in the shadow of the Capitol Dome, as was mentioned earlier, completed amid the Civil War, when the Union itself was literally hanging in the balance. Yet we endured. We prevailed. Here we stand, looking out on the great mall where Dr. King spoke of his dream. Here we stand where 108 years ago, at another inaugural, thousands of protesters tried to block brave women marching for the right to vote. And today, we mark the swearing in of the first woman in American history elected to national office, Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't tell me things can't change. Here we stand across the Potomac from Arlington Cemetery, where heroes who gave the last full measure of devotion rest in eternal peace. And here we stand, just days after a riotous mob thought they could use violence to silence the will of the people, to stop the work of our democracy, to drive us from this sacred ground. It did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever. To all those who supported our campaign, I'm humbled by the faith you've placed in us. To all those who did not support us, let me say this. Hear me out as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart. And if you still disagree, so be it. That's democracy. That's America. The right to dissent peaceably within the guardrails of our republic is perhaps this nation's greatest strength. Yet hear me clearly. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did. Many centuries ago, St. Augustine, a saint of my church, wrote that a people was a multitude defined by the common objects of their love. Defined by the common objects of their love. What are the common objects we as Americans love that define us as Americans? I think we know. Opportunity, security, liberty, dignity, respect, honor, and yes, the truth. Recent weeks and months have taught us a painful lesson. There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility as citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders. Leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation, to defend the truth and defeat the lies. Look, I understand that many of my fellow Americans view the future with fear and trepidation. I understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, can I keep my health care? Can I pay my mortgage? Thinking about their families, about what comes next. I promise you, I get it. But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions, distrusting those who don't look like you, or worship the way you do, or don't get their news from the same sources you do. We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, or rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts, if we show a little tolerance and humility, and if we're willing to stand in the other person's shoes, as my mom would say, just for a moment, stand in their shoes. Because here's the thing about life. There's no accounting for what fate will deal you. Some days, when you need a hand. There are other days when we're called to lend a hand. That's how it has to be. That's what we do for one another. And if we are this way, our country will be stronger, more prosperous, more ready for the future. And we can still disagree. My fellow Americans, in the work ahead of us, we're going to need each other. We need all our strength to persevere through this dark winter. We're entering what may be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set aside politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation. One nation. And I promise you this, as the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. We will get through this together. Together. Look, folks, all my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here, we all understand the world is watching all of us today. So here's my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested, and we've come out stronger for it. We will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again, not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges. And we'll lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. We'll be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security. Look, you all know we've been through so much in this nation. And in my first act as president, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer. Remember all those who we lost in this past year to the pandemic. Those 400,000 fellow Americans, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. We'll honor them by becoming the people and the nation we know we can and should be. So I ask you, let's say a silent prayer for those who've lost their lives and those left behind, and for our country. Amen. Folks, this is a time of testing. We face an attack on our democracy and on truth, a raging virus, growing inequity, the sting of systemic racism, a climate in crisis, America's role in the world. Any one of these would be enough to challenge us in profound ways. But the fact is, we face them all at once, presenting this nation with one of the gravest responsibilities we've had. Now we're going to be tested. Are we going to step up, all of us? It's time for boldness, for there's so much to do. And this is certain. I promise you, we will be judged, you and I, by how we resolve these cascading crises of our era. We will rise to the occasion is the question. Will we master this rare and difficult hour? Will we meet our obligations and pass along a new and better world to our children? I believe we must. I'm sure you do as well. I believe we will. And when we do, we'll write the next great chapter in the history of the United States of America, the American story. A story that might sound something like a song that means a lot to me. It's called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, at least for me, and it goes like this. The work and prayers of century have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. Let's us add our own work and prayers to the unfolding story of our great nation. If we do this, then when our days are through, our children and our children's children will say of us, they gave their best, they did their duty, they healed a broken land. My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you. I will defend the Constitution. I'll defend our democracy. I'll defend America. And I'll give all of you, keep everything I do in your service, thinking not of power, but of possibilities, not of personal interest, but the public good. And together, we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness, a story of decency and dignity, love and healing, greatness and goodness. May this be the story that guides us, the story that inspires us, and the story that tells ages yet to come that we answered the call of history. We met the moment. Democracy and hope, truth and justice did not die on our watch, but thrived. That America secured liberty at home and stood once again as a beacon to the world. That is what we owe our forebears, one another, and generation to follow. So, with purpose and resolve, we turn to those tasks of our time, sustained by faith, driven by conviction, and devoted to one another and the country we love with all our hearts. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, America.
This is a test donation for $53 still owed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Garth Brooks to perform Amazing Grace.
God's word is not opinion. God's word should be taken as a literal fact. Fair enough. They have plenty to say.
Are you with this?
Good to see you. I see so many people that are here from NY.
We're all here.
Oh. Can you tell him how he can not be wicked? What does he have to do to not be wicked? Oh, there you go. You got your Hail Satan from somebody. Someone in my chat said, say Hail Satan like a minute ago. What does he have to do to not be a hypocrite? What does he have to do for God to accept him? Can you tell him that? Hail Oprah. Hail Oprah!
I'm so excited that Biden's now the president.
No one joined me in the Hail Oprah chant. Excuse me. Sorry, my bad.
Over here.
We got some Biden flags behind us.
You need to take that home with you. What's wrong with
Biden 2020! I hope y'all voted for Biden, though. And we don't want you to go to hell.
Pull the herd. We got mad people competing for space on the barricades. Oh, we got another guy joining up. Let the man in the camo hat on the mic. I want to hear what he has to say. Isn't he with you guys? No, this is just some random dude?
You can't trust the man that
All right. This guy in the camo hat apparently is not with these people. He's just gotten in front of them to defend them.
So, a couple barbecue sauce, what'd you use? What you using? Nothing? Oh, I know, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
You better believe it. America is due for judgment, and it's just a matter of time. And when God brings that, supporting the cause and stop it. And he says his judgment comes to the great and the small, the mighty, the rich, the poor, all alike are going to be running for cover. Because when he comes back, it's in a flaming fire.
What do you think about his comment? He said, fuck God.
We knew it, somehow we do it, somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge our union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together, victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb if only we dare it, because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared it at its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So, while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burdens. But one thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the wind-swept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
Thank you, Amanda Gorman. Now for our benediction, I'm pleased to introduce Reverend Dr. Sylvester Beeman, the pastor of the Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Wilmington, Delaware, a friend of President Biden for 30 years.
As a nation and people of faith gathered in this historical moment, let us unite in prayer. God, we gather under the beauty of your holiness and the holiness of your beauty. We seek your face, your smile, your warm embrace. We petition you once more in this celebration. We pray for divine favor upon our President, Joseph R. Biden, and our First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, and their family. We further ask that you would extend the same favor upon our Vice President, Kamala D. Harris, and our second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, and their family. More than ever, they and our nation need you. We need you, for in you we discover our common humanity. And our common humanity.
What is this thing that's blocking my feet? Oh. Almost busted my ass.
Yeah, I'm in Austin. I go to UT Austin.
People are so stupid. Why am I even watching this dumb event? Fair enough. Fair comment. Because it's interesting. Fair retort.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because apparently feminists don't.
Where in DC exactly is this? We are on the corner of New Jersey Avenue and D Street. The Capitol building is right there. This is about as close as we can get. There's people spread out. There's a large crowd over here, and then more people spread out down that way and all around.
I don't know what team's down here, but I'm sure they suck.
Excuse me. Let me get my bike out of here. Excuse me. My bad.
Yeah, we flipped off the Donald Trump helicopter today. We saw it flying over. Giving a big F you. Never come back.
The Alex Chaser, that thing is a reflector. Wonderful. Excuse me. Pardon me. They stole your spot. I gave up my spot. Let them have it. You guys want me to get back up there? Was that angle better for you? I wanted to see what else was going on around. Raise your hand if you're a Jew, please. Okay. Right here.
The Bible says in John 3:3 that you must be born again.
Ah.
Now check the list up here. I brought a sign. I know a lot of you were raised in public schools. You don't know how to read that well. But for you guys that were homeschooled, I'm sure it's no problem for you to read this. It says feminists are lousy mothers. Feminists support pedophilia. Feminists, what? Feminists, because think about the last time. They want to have first legal support because France is run by feminists. They want to lower the age of consent from 18 to 13. I know my laws in all these countries. I know Islam law, I know American law, and most importantly, I know God's law. This is my country. This is the country of the land of the free, the home of the brave. Just as most of you guys are brave, I'm warning people about Islam. I'm warning people about...
What do you sound like? You said you talk to God. What do you sound like? What do you sound like?
Guys, I'm going to give you the short list of things that I just kind of sense in this area.
God ain't real.
Masturbators.
I'm going on about the masturbators again.
Porno watchers. I think some of you probably should watch like English porn. Some of you, I'm not going to judge.
I bust your ass. Yeah.
Some of you are engaged in premarital hand-holding, premarital kissing, and premarital sex. Okay.
I like his inflection when he says the word sex.
Now, I got good news and bad news. The good news is you're going to hell.
A peace flag.
Oh, Christian, that's not loving. Oh, you know why it's so exciting? Because people like Hitler are in hell. Pedophiles are in hell. Racists are in hell.
Вони за такі традиційні цінності, але б я навіть сказав би, що навіть занадто консервативні, вони вважають.
Alex Chaser, loved the bridge wheeling video. You rock. Thank you, Shelby. I'll have some more wheelie videos when I get this stream set up from a GoPro. I'll have that set up soon enough.
We have a new president that's like a pedophile. You can look that up on YouTube and watch the videos.
Aren't they all pedophiles?
Hey, Donald Trump was
UFC is on ESPN right now. Tell UFC to restream my shit.
Okay. Hey, Donald Trump's going to hell next to Joe Biden.
Yeah, that bridge video was killer. Thank you, Corey.
Trump might be your neighbor in hell, and you're going to listen to him for like 10 billion years. Can you imagine that? Why would I go to hell? I'm a loving Christian. I'm here to try to love up my neighbor as myself, but you guys just aren't receiving the love. I think you guys are bigots. I think you guys are a little
This guy's acting like he was born out of Mary. He was born out of Mary.
Did my friend call you a whore? Wait, are you a virgin?
What else would he be born out of, this wonderful man?
Are you a virgin? I can't believe you called this slut a whore. That's horrible.
Oh, he's got jokes. They do have some jokes.
Stop opening your legs before marriage, before you get... We don't want you to get gonorrhea. Gonorrhea. My name's not important. The name of Jesus.
This guy live streaming on Instagram, his name is Booty. Yeah, Booty's everyone follow Booty. This dude right here. Booty's the fucking greatest photographer in the history of Earth.
When he finally has sex with you, and you're like, you don't want to get married? A little bit later, yeah. Her soul's on the line. God is convicting her of her sins right now. Right now, she's wondering if her boyfriend is marriage material. Guys, we're all slaves. Get it through your head.
That we are.
You're a slave to Satan, or you're a slave to Jesus. My Jesus runs the best plantation around. We have benefits, we go to heaven, I got peace, I got joy, but you guys have depression. Some of you have already written your suicide notes.
Oh. Interesting.
The Bible? Think about it. Think about it. When you're really depressed, you have to get drunk, you have to call your buddies.
Corey Christensen. Wait, let me read that before it goes by.
Because you have demons. What's your question, sir?
We scroll up and read. Stay safe. I came over from Jeff Mack's stream. Get that guy pro so we can see some more wheelies. Thank you, Corey Christensen. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you for being here.
You guys really are making yourself more sick when you wear the mask and you breathe your own bacteria 24 hours a day. I think some of you like the virtue signal so much you even wear your mask when you're sleeping at your house, don't you? You guys wear your mask when you ride your bike. You guys wear your mask in the car all by yourself. Come on, man. I believe in science. I believe in science.
Oh, Rollerblade Man is back.
Man, I went to college and Bible college. You're such a ignorant person, man.
Let him have it, RB.
You look at your clothes. It's like a homo jacket. Are you gay?
We're fucking ignorant with one that
As a loving Christian,
try sex once.
Jesus Christ, or you're going to hell.
Jesus, man.
Jesus Christ wanted to whore earth once and killed everybody but Noah and his family. That's science right there.
Behind you.
That's the great plus. Oh, yeah, Muhammad's a false prophet, pedophile. Jesus is going to headlock and throw him in hell. Jesus is more than a prophet. Muslims lie. Jesus Christ is God in flesh.
My bad, my bad. Thank you.
I'm telling you to close your legs so you get married and stop being a dirty hoe. Stop being a
Let me get up on top of the toll thing again.
Stop being a sock. For my black friends out there.
masturbate today, you'll be a queer in a year. Excuse me. Sorry.
Shame, shame, shame. She must be drunk too. Bible says no drunkard.
Clear the street, please. Clear the street, please. Sir, please clear the street. Back it up. You're walking the wrong way, sir. That way, please. Thank you. Traffic's coming. Move back. Keep it civil, guys. You need a special person to around on this side of the street. Sir.
Do what the police say. Obey the police. Obey the law. Right? Without Jesus Christ, you become lawless. Jesus Christ is who you need. Jesus Christ is all you need. Because He's the only way, He's the only truth, He's the only life. No one can go to the Father except through Jesus Christ. There is no name given under heaven to men by which we must be saved except the name of Jesus Christ, the sweetest name above all names. Jesus, name above all names. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ is Lord. You need Jesus Christ, folks. Jesus Christ. Hey, I'll keep it very simple to you, pockets right here. You disobey the law, you go to jail. You commit a crime here, you go to jail. You commit sin, you're going to go to jail. You break man's law, you go to jail. You break God's law, you go to hell. You better keep that one in your mind. The gift of God is eternal life. That's the good news, but there's bad news. The wages of sin is death. That's the ways that you get for this kind of behavior. Without God, you have seen this almost naked lady right here. Without Jesus Christ, that's the behavior that you put up. Right? That's the kind of a behavior that we see. America needs God more than ever. America needs God.
How are you going to preach about God, but you're getting into the and calling people a whore?
You break God's law, you go to hell. That's as simple as it is.
How are you promoting God when you promote hate?
Young man, you need Jesus Christ.
I have Jesus Christ.
I don't think you have Jesus Christ. If you have Jesus Christ,
I promote unity. What do you promote?
If you have Jesus Christ, you will not behave like this.
You promote aggression.
You need
you
Jesus
promote
Christ. You know what? Nobody is promised to live until tomorrow. No one is promised to live until tomorrow. I may die tonight.
That is what you promote.
The big question is this: where will you go when you die?
Where will I go?
If you want
I'm
to die
going
tonight,
to
where
my
will you go
heavenly
in
Father under my heavenly mansion.
Heaven is hell.
Huh?
Without Jesus Christ, you'll burn in hell.
Yeah, you are
right. You better
Jesus.
get on your knees. Ask
Jesus.
God to forgive
I
you
don't
of
call
your
women
sin.
whores.
Okay, humble yourself.
Humble
Don't be a
myself?
proud man right
I
here.
am humble.
Humble yourself and lift up the name of Jesus.
That's what you're
Repent
not
of all of your sins. God can save your life. God can save your life. Humble your life. Humble yourself before the mighty God, and He will lift you up. Draw near to Him, and God will draw near to you. You need Jesus Christ, right?
Are you a sinner?
Put the shirt on, button it up.
Are you a sinner? Are you a sinner?
Button up the shirt.
Are you a sinner?
Get right with God, folks. Get right with God.
How are you a sinner, but telling me not to sin?
He's a holy Lord. No one goes to the Father except through Jesus Christ.
You are right.
Allah can't
you
save you.
better find him.
Buddha can't save
Yeah, you're right. And the hate that you spread is not what the Bible talks about. Correct your hate. Correct your hate. Correct your hate. Correct your hate. Because that is what is causing our division. Correct your hate. That is what is causing our division.
You break man's law, you go to
Correct
jail.
your hate.
You break
Correct your hate.
law, you go to hell.
Correct your hate.
We came here to preach to you
Correct
the word
your
of
hate.
God. We don't
Correct
want
your
you to
hate.
go to hell.
Correct
You know
your
what?
hate before you preach to the people.
Next time, you better read the Bible, you pray to God, you obey, you repent, and take care of your family. God bless you all.
I'm a very, very strong Christian. I supported Trump. I still believe that the election was stolen. But you, sir, all of you, have been promoting the wrong form of Christianity. That is not love. That woman you call the whore is a woman. A human fucking being. God bless you all.
Team ready to stand up now prediction for the inauguration today. We have won a damn lot.
We must see that justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Stand in this convention knowing that on some positions, power is not as much as it safe.
Well, you're trying to let yourself go to do what you practice your own belief. Don't try to push it.
Check out this article from the Politico. It's about speech writing for Joe Biden. Just to skip to the part that's interesting to me. I would never say this, Biden once snapped at an aide, aghast over the prepared remarks he was reviewing, according to a person in the room during a speech prep session last year. Where did you get this from? The aide explained that Biden had just said it in a public speech a couple weeks earlier. Is Politico and his aides admitting that maybe he's having mental decline? Are they already starting? Kamala will be in sooner than we think?
Dreams, right?
Right.
Proud Boys around here.
I know, right? I was kind of hoping so, but I guess not.
Racist wars. You just name the war. Divide, division. So we believe that God is going to bring the water and bring peace and unity. And that's what we're here for. So when you think about the walls of Jericho, because the word Jericho is under siege by the enemy, the city and this nation is under siege.
Yeah.
And so we want the war of all the division to calm down and unify us. And that's what we're here for.
So, yeah, I get that. So yeah, I think people are confused. You're not trying to knock down an actual wall here. You're trying to knock down the metaphysical walls, the walls that are dividing people.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Would you give it a rip for us, please? Would you be willing to play it for us? I know you've been, servicing the people, but we all love it. We love hearing it. Thank you. God bless you, brother.
God bless you. God
Take
bless
care.
you. God bless you.
I already got that horn. I keep wondering, like, that's not something you buy. Oh, there's that one kid.
Oh, there's all gas, no brakes.
Fuzzy head kid.
What's that?
You know, because I don't know.
Who, that guy?
No.
What?
Why everyone's...
Just one person runs, and then that's all it takes. And everyone's like, it must be going down.
Hey, I love what you guys do, man.
Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate that so much. Thank you very much.
We were watching you, we were up in Rochester, and we were watching you guys. I think you were in D.C.
Yeah.
For all the Black Lives Matter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were in our hotel room, and we were like, let's watch TJ.
I appreciate that, man. Seriously, for real, I appreciate that.
Yeah, y'all take care.
You too, man. I'm glad to see you out here. So it's funny. That's the guy that ran past us up here. He's from.
No, pedophiles are called a reprobate in the Bible. So some of you women
American
get raped and molested when you're little. I got good news for you. That guy's never going to get forgiven and never go to heaven because God is a just God.
Not seen many American flags in the crowd so far. I don't know if that's the first one I've seen.
Like that. Disgusting. This guy's talking about butts and G-spots and nasty poop stuff. Disgusting. The Christian here on a question, is Trump going to heaven? No, he's going to hell. But at least he's not a reprobate like Joe Biden.
Shit. Apparently Trump is also going to hell.
He's Trump's a whoremonger and he has tried, but he's not a reprobate. He's not a pedophile like Joe Biden.
There are accusations from
you
minors.
guys like listen to too much Hollywood. You guys probably think that new Supreme Court judge is a rapist.
People are running behind you. People are running, in fact.
Only fake Christians.
A lot of people seem to be walking up the block over there.
I didn't vote, man. What are you talking about? I'm a real Christian. Although nothing wrong with Christians who vote. Nothing wrong with Christians who vote.
All right, let's see what's going on up the block over here. A lot of people have moved this way.
Let me do this on history, young man. They used to say the black vote was over 3/5 of the vote. That's messed up law. Yeah, at the beginning days.
Maybe can finally do some bike riding to them. Camera crew rolling by. Looking for some cool shit to film, aren't we all? Everyone up here is like, I feel like something cool's going on down there. Everyone down there is like, let's see what's going on up here. We're all waiting for the fucking rioting to start.
Yo, come in. Back that way.
Whoops. Keep a close eye next time, Sonny. He's been sworn in. Is Biden the official president now? Yippee. We've gotten word that Biden has been sworn in.
Accountability in our government. And they're here to defend us. Their purpose is defending us is to what? Exercise control over us?
You got on going straight to hell.
I mean, abortion's always murder.
Your mother should have swallowed you. Your mother should have swallowed you, all three of y'all.
I forgive you, Senator. Hey.
Yeah.
You got dirt on your jacket. Did God tell you not to wash that jacket?
You're not acting like in your right mind. Okay, back to Jesus. There's a story in the Bible about this war.
Oh, you got it. That was your mother.
Yeah, John chapter 8. She was this war, and
Hey, Radio, thank you for your support. Shout out to our radio. I'm gonna walk around so I can try to get a little bit closer.
Because she called him Lord, Jesus forgave that hoe. Now, I need to tell these hoes something. Jesus said, close your legs till marriage. No, Jesus said, close your legs till marriage. Jesus said in John chapter 8, go and sin no more. John chapter 8, go and sin no more. Very disrespectful. I'm trying to save the Hymens up in here. I'm trying to save the Hymens. And all you guys do is like the wicked.
We're gonna walk away for a second, try to get some more stuff going on out here.
That guy's crazy. Yeah, I am glad you're still alive because it seemed like you've been doing a lot of drugs, buddy. I preached to her like 2 months ago at the comp rally.
Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Kirsty.
No, I mean, some of the times the mother dies, and the guy has to barbecue a lot and stuff. But the best thing is that the woman should be there doing things. Let me just explain how it works in my marriage. I make the bacon, my wife cooks the bacon. That's how it works. Simple. We homeschool, kids love us, they know capitalism, we play Monopoly. You guys let your kids go to public school and they turn out faggots, lesbos, and dykes.
Oh. This kid's language is all, this is crazy.
Jesus went around rebuking sinners. Read the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5, 6, 7. He called the whole crowd evil. He called them evil. If you, being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more your Father in heaven? Wicked. Yo, you and your little 5 Facebook followers. I tell him he's got AIDS and he deserves AIDS, homo. That's it, Jesus. Now, let's turn James Stein around and talk about Islam a little bit.
Show us your cock. Show us your cock. Show us your fat cock.
Okay. Muhammad was a white man that own black people. Mohammed slept with a goat. Mohammed dressed like a tranny. And you guys think it's okay for Islam to take over America like they took over England. There are more free speech in England because the Muslims and homos took over.
That's the way to diffuse them. They're trolling him hard. Instead of getting angry, they're trolling the fuck out of him. I like
After free
that.
speech is gone, then you get a Hitler dictator. That's what happens. That's the order of it. No, you're going to have a worse one when you get rid of the Christian. When you get rid of the free speech.
Over here.
Oh, please, come with it. Hitler. He wants you guys off. He does a lot of bad. When you guys were burning down cities back in June,
There's certain positions where trolls come in handy, and that was one of those positions. Instead of getting angry at the dude, they trolled the shit out of him. And you can tell he doesn't know how to go on with it. He doesn't know what else to say. A lot of that crowd is heading back over in this direction now too. If you guys are watching, please make sure you guys hit that like button or spam those heart reactions. Share this out. You can share this to your page. You can share it to group pages. The more viewers we have, the more influence we have, and the more people see what's going on out here. Appreciate you guys all so much that are in the chat. Share this out. Please share this out.
You're a politician or something? Nobody. So why you dress like shit up the block?
Take that shit straight up the block.
He has white men on his side. Why the fuck are you wearing that? What's going on? Okay, so why that shit is a piece of shit. You own slaves? Hey, come back here. I want to fuck. That shit is a piece of shit.
Protect life, protect
touching mics.
Don't give in, brother. Hold your ground. Hold your ground.
Do you believe that the country should be united and love each other? Do you believe that? Do you believe the country should be united and love each other?
What is the creature in the rainbow fur? That is Crackhead Barney. Follow her on Instagram at Crackhead Barney.
It's possible, but we need
She just unlocked my rainbow. Good to know.
Your masturbation, many things that you will give to the world.
We got the Jesus preachers have taken the top of the hill over here. Crowd is building around them again. Okay, we got Rainbow Woman and Jesus preachers about to square off. Let's get up close and personal and catch all the action.
What isn't the problem? Hold your hand still, please. Okay. All right, now I need...
All right, when are we storming the Capitol?
Really strong.
So how was the Capitol?
If you keep sleeping around,
No one interested in storming the Capitol with me.
Are you guys on the no-fly list?
That's my message.
Yeah, I know you have an STD.
That's my message. That's it.
So what's
I just wanted to talk to the thoughts out here, and that's it.
Am I a thought?
Keep sleeping around. No, you're worse than a thought.
Oh, what is that? Give me the name of
Like a thought is like that hoe out there. You way out there. I don't even know what you
What's that?
call that.
Can we call it a new term? Come on, Marga, racist piece of shit.
How am I racist?
Give me a new piece. Give me a new term that's worse than
Where's the
thought.
crowd? All scattered.
No.
All over the place.
Hold on, a worse word than
On
a
the
thought?
corner.
Okay, Democrat.
Waiting for some action.
But you're stupid, so I expect that answer.
I'm stupid, so you expected my wittiness.
Yeah, I expected that.
Okay. Okay.
Does the rainbow lady smell good? She does smell good.
But you're about to get pneumonia trying
She's a very nice person if you got to know her actually.
Now, guys, it's easy to get whores like you. It's very easy. All I tell you guys
We
is
got
that I'll get you called.
50 journalists jockeying for position.
I don't know. That's it. No one would want to be with you.
I know her. She's hilarious. Yeah, she's a funny gal. LOL. She farts glitter? Question mark. Of course.
Hey, why the fuck is y'all can do all this attention? There's so much shit going on right now. Y'all filming this?
There is a lot of things going on. Like right now, there's a pedophile in the White House.
She a troll? Yeah, kinda. She's a self-proclaimed attention whore.
We here for change, right? Are y'all here for change? Let's fucking...
All right, this man's gotten in front of the Jesus preachers, telling them to stop the freak show and get back to the main crowd because we're here for change. Journalists, by the way. Yeah, the journalists are very good at drawing the crowd and kind of like inciting the situation, gathering around and like causing a scene.
Want to feel something positive? This man's speaking truth. This man's a fucking idiot. This man's speaking truth. I
There you go.
Fuck him. He's a racist fucking idiot.
BLM Plaza, let's go. We need everyone who's dispersed all over the place to need to just.
Okay, that's great. I'm so glad the homos and the whores left. I just wanted to get my loving message out.
Make one big ass crowd.
Christ is so loving that he throws whores into hell.
There you go. Loving
So
message from
loving.
the Jesus man.
Jesus is so loving, so loving. Yeah, man. He's literally made Joe Biden like brain dead. It's great. It's great stuff. It's great.
I hope she farts glitter. I want some. Sure you do.
That he's able to raise
Yeah, it's her IG is Crackhead Barney and Friends. That's her main IG. Thank you, whoever said that in the comments.
Okay, God said,
give her a follow.
all of you who would not have him to reign over him,
Fucking smashing a cigarette.
bring them before me and slay them before me.
He gave you a gift. Why would you smash your gift,
At the
son?
end of the day, Jesus Christ is going to be Lord, no matter if you like it or
No,
not.
she pees glitter. She exudes glitter out of all pores in her body, I'm sure.
At the end of allegedly is another way.
Since you guys like Rainbow Lady, let's stay here for a while. She's interviewing people. She's saying she likes light-skinned men and asking the men, would they fuck her? She's a glitter polluter. Yep. Hopefully glitter better for the Earth's environment than whatever we pollute into it currently. She's amazing. I'm following her now. Yeah, definitely give her a follow. Oh, we got more Jesus people. These seem to be, I don't know, more reasonably dressed, I guess. But I'm sure they're gonna say all the same insane bullshit. Where can I follow her? Her Instagram is Crackhead Barney and Friends. Make sure to give her a follow. Jesus has billions of subscribers, Alex, well more than you. And well more than I'll ever have, I'm sure. Popular man, that Jesus. What's going on? Why are you white? Jesus saves, but you must believe and call on him. This guy seems reasonable enough. He said he was a drug addict who found Jesus and turned his life around. Good for him. Summoning spells. Yep. Here's the spell summoning that you guys were asking about before. Rainbow Lady has come to summon spells at the Biden inauguration. Hooked on glitter, aren't we all? The comments about her glitter are mad funny. Where's this at? We're on New Jersey Street and New Jersey Avenue and D Street, across from the Capitol building. I can smell her through the screen. And what does she smell like? Let me know. She's now on the floor, rolling about. Oh, American flag. Oh my. Am I gonna get pulled off YouTube for this? I'll pull it. Can I pull it? Where's Naked Cowboy? Where is Naked Cowboy? Bring all the freaks out.
I saw the dude after. That seems like
Hey, congrats on your sobriety, buddy.
What's that mean to you?
Unironically. It's a good story to hear. Alright, we still got a decent sized crowd out here, just kind of scattered around aimlessly with nothing to do. Is Antifa there? I guess not. I mean, if you just mean anti-fascists in general, then yeah. I imagine the pro-Biden people would consider themselves anti-fascist, but are any Antifa groups here? No. Hail Satan. Sure, hail Satan. Hail God, hail Satan, hail whatever you want to hail. What are you guys protesting today? It's not a protest. We're just here at the inauguration, just existing. Folks are here speaking their minds. Others are here getting internet attention, i.e. me, i.e. Rainbow Lady, i.e. the Jesus Preachers. Nice vibes. It is like a little block party right now. Nickelback Fan Club. He has a shirt that says Randy Marshall. Who the hell is Randy Marshall? Nickelback Fan Club. What do you love about Nickelback?
What's not to love, man?
I agreed.
Best rock band ever.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Hey, stop giving him attention. He's a hateful racist. This is not God. Don't get that. God. That's not God.
For a second, that's fine. Hey, thinking is good. Guys, please do not going to try to control your thoughts. That's what you want.
What's a Nickelback? To be honest, I think Nickelback is not... I think a lot of the hatred they get is not that deserved. I'm not in love with that band, but they're not that awful. Yeah, they're like an average radio rock band. Again, I don't really like that band, but...
I'm just here to put them in their places. That's the difference. There's a difference.
He seemed like a nice guy, the Nickelback.
What's next? Christian rock? Are you serious? What's next? Christian porn?
You think it's an oxymoron?
Yeah, it is.
Fair enough.
They're Christian porn.
You think they were just doing it for the money?
When a girl says things like that she shouldn't be saying.
You've never watched a nut gangbang?
Crossfade and Five Finger Death Punch showing you your age. I listened to all these bands when I was younger, by the way. I acknowledge that most of them suck, but I was into it at one point. 3 Days Grace, yeah, that was another favorite of mine.
We're not Catholics, we're Christians.
Slipknot I still like. Slipknot remains a great band in my mind.
Are the ones that are going around raping children.
Creed has a few good songs. Meh.
I think that person's a Christian if they're doing that. Why?
Meh.
Of course you don't. You don't think anything is good that tells you the truth. Hey guys, we can't keep printing money. We don't care. Do it anyway.
Oh, I agree with you there. I agree with you on the money printing. Talk about that. Talk about something more reasonable and not ridiculous.
We don't care. You're hateful for standing against us. That's what it is. Anybody that tells you what you're
I still like 3 Days Grace.
Then you go against them.
3 Days Grace has a few songs still.
How dare they kill a guy that was intent on killing them? When do you want the
I Will Not Die. I'll stand by that song.
When 2 people are dead, when 3 people, how many times?
Breaking Benjamin was another one I listened to a lot.
To do their job. At what point? Never. Never. See, that is what we're getting to. I'm so glad you finally said that. Never.
Oh, shit.
Never is when you want them to do their job, and that's what America is coming to. That's the new America.
Led Zeppelin, Stones, Soundgarden. I like all three of those. I listen to a lot of old classic rock bands too. Black Sabbath and AC/DC are some of my favorite bands.
I'm glad you guys are saying this is the truth.
Ask him about Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath's my favorite band ever to this day. What do you think about Black Sabbath?
I mean, of course, this won't ever go viral or go out.
What do you think about Black Sabbath, the band?
Go somewhere else. No, Black Sabbath is horrible, man. That's
Really?
Such blasphemy.
Ah.
I used to listen to Under Oath and all of them. They were.
Talk to her. What about Deborah, Christian?
I see.
What about Deborah?
Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains is also one of my favorite bands.
What about Deborah?
Deborah was a woman in the Bible.
She led an army, yes, but
Pearl Jam I like. Pearl Jam has a few songs. AC/DC is one of my favorite bands.
well, that means she talked to God directly. God gave her
Floyd Purple Stone Roses. Yup.
Deborah never exerted her
Deep Purple, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, Guns N' Roses. I like them all.
holding a sword. Let's just get that straight. She was not holding
Smashing Pumpkins. Never been that into Smashing Pumpkins. Metallica I like. Never been into Marilyn Manson.
Did the disciples believe her?
Ask him if he's seen Jesus.
No, they all did not believe her.
Have you ever seen Jesus?
Peter and John ran to the tomb.
Have you ever seen Jesus with your two eyes?
These are women. These are women who did the work.
Oh, he's got some good questions. Do you
I
like
know what you're
turtles?
saying, that's fine. But as I said, she wasn't told to go out and preach.
See if he's ever been to a Slayer concert. You ever been to a Slayer concert? Show the military. The military's all back here. I don't know if you could see them behind the fence back there. They're all around the entire barrier. There's like hundreds of them back there
Of course she is.
with rifles.
She's around masculinity, not toxic, I might remind you.
Very toxic.
Rush, Hendrix. I like my child.